What's going on, guys? Today we have a special guest, Westdrum Cards. Now, Westdrum, he's been a creator on YouTube for Fortnite cards that I've watched ever since I first started Fortnite cards. So, someone I've wanted to get on the channel for a while, and I'm glad to have him on. And it's good to have you on, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me. I've been loving what you've been doing on YouTube with the whole Fortnite card every day and all the live streams. So figured I'd hop on and I don't know, just talk Fortnite cards. I love talking it, so can't wait to see your opinions on certain things, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, of course. So, I just like to start it out by saying, what got you into Fortnite and Fortnite cards?
So I've always played the game. I guess I played super early on, chapter 1, season 2 is when I started. I even bought the original battle pass, but I never finished it. Obviously, a little depressing there, but I ended up getting like Royale Knight, Blue Squire, those skins. And so I played the game very early on, and the first time I ever saw Fortnite cards was at a Dollar Tree, and they had the 3 card packs, and I was just kind of confused at first. I thought they were kind of like sticker packs or something because I hadn't heard of any Fortnite products. I never knew there were mega boxes, anything. That was the first thing I saw. So the first time I just left them. I left the store, didn't buy any, and then I went back probably a week later, and they were still there. And so I was like, maybe I'll just try some. So I bought a few packs. I brought them back home. I was opening them, and at first I didn't think much of them because they're a bunch of screenshots and whatever. And then it probably was like a few packs in, I hit a dire hollow, and I was like, "Holy cow, what just happened?" Because I was just hitting regular cards for the most part until I see this card, and I was just so shocked to see that there was actually like some cool cards in the set. So this was, I think, Series 2 hadn't been out yet when I got this, but I didn't even know there was a Series 2, right? So, um, eventually I went to, like, NOI, you know about them, right?
Yeah.
So I went to their eBay page, and they had 100 packs for it might have been, like, $180. Imagine paying that now.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about. And, so I bought 100 packs from them, and I hit a few hollows. Every one of them was a legendary, by the way. It was like Visitor, Carbide, Valkyrie. And at the time, I didn't know there were like the checklist, nothing. I was just collecting to collect until I started looking up on eBay and I saw the prices. I'm like, holy cow, these might actually go for quite a bit of money. This was at the time you could sell like raw legendary hollows for like $70 or whatever. And of course, I'm a Bullseye collector, so I look up Bullseye and she's up there for like $10. I was like, "What? Huh? How is she so low?" So at that point, I was buying them all up, not really telling anybody because I wasn't in any Facebook groups or none of that. And obviously, that's changed so much now. You see one on eBay for $50 raw, it's gonna sell. It's just that simple. If I don't buy it, someone else will. So I ended up building up my bullseye collection so heavily, so many bullseyes to what it is today. And I'll show some of those a little later. I've just got them all, stacked up. But it's basically branched out into this way. I have Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. I got prototypes, all that sort of stuff. So what started as a little Dollar Tree turned into craziness. So I guess that's my story as of now.
Okay. And obviously, like you're talking about, you were with the hollows and just ripping those cheap packs, and you bought a couple hollows in the $10 range. What kind of
Mhm.
changed that? Where you changed and we started buying crystal shards and the higher end cards?
So again, I didn't even know mega boxes existed, so I was kind of just buying hollows. I don't necessarily know when it kicked in where I realized there were crystal shards. Um, because again, like the boxes would be up there for at least $1,000 at this point because it was really right before Series 2 was coming out. They were actually up there probably like near the two, three, $4,000 range. It was like the peak at the time. So I just didn't think at first that these even existed or whatever. I thought you had the hollows and stuff. So I think I just saw them on eBay one day, and I had to kind of educate myself, which is why it's so good we have like Taking High Ground and all that, who are like strictly helping the community as much as they can with checklists, all the box odds and all that. Because for someone like me, even who you wouldn't expect to not know this stuff, I didn't know it at first. Like obviously I can tell you literally so much different stuff now, even like the most niche card details and all that. But at the time, I had no idea. So I finally probably just saw it on eBay and stuff. And my first crystal shard, I think, was a submachine gun. Just at the time, I just wanted to have one. So I bought it raw for $100. And even now, that seems like a pretty, average price for one. And so I graded it with Beckett. I got a 9.5 on it. And I think Kari ended up with it, and then I got it back. It's a whole story, but we did a whole deal out of that. I helped some guy out with his collection in return. So my first ever crystal shard actually turned into a bullseye shard. It worked into a trade with a bullseye shard. So that's kind of a cool story about that. Um, I've only actually ripped one S1 Mega for myself ever. Obviously, I've done a lot of breaks, and I always hit the good cards in my breaks, like Skull Trooper, Lux, all that. For me, I still hit a crack shot, which was nice. Wade Dagnall is kind of going after that whole PSA 10 master set or whatever. So we worked out a deal, and both those cards hit a PSA 10. It was a crack shot and a masked fury. And so he PSA 10 both those. I got a lot in return. I actually turned another deal like that into a bullseye shard. You can see my sort of thought process. It's basically, if I have anything, I will make it work into a bullseye trade, which there's a lot more coming. My collection's nowhere near complete. Of course, I have to have a black label, a regular Beckett 10. I have to have a prototype hollow one day, prototype crystal shard, if that's even possible, right? It's just something I want to do personally. I'd never stop believing. When people are like, "Oh, there might not be more USA out there," I'll be one of those doubters, and just always believe in it. Because if I didn't believe there was more out there, I wouldn't. You know my story, obviously. I wouldn't have my Galaxy Crystal Sword prototype or my Technique Crystal Sword prototype.
Yeah, and now the next thing I want to talk about is, when did you decide to start making your Fortnite card channel?
So, specifically for my YouTube, it was more of just like I was building my personal collection. I didn't really see too much out there for people opening the Fortnite cards and stuff. So I joined the Facebook group, and I was telling people, I do the whole YouTube thing already because I have a YouTube channel with over 200,000 subscribers. Actually, I got the play button right back there. But so I had a YouTube channel already, so I had experience with it, and this was sort of just a hobby, sort of, thing at the time. It's a little bit more of a business, and I can explain that a little bit later. It's kind of mixed now, but at the time it was strictly hobby, so I was just recording every single thing I could get my hands on. I'd record it, post it to YouTube. And so that's kind of how I started my YouTube channel. And as time went on, I started doing the breaks for people in the Facebook group specifically. And so I've done probably like 200 plus breaks, or 200 plus live streams, not even breaks, 200 plus live streams in the Facebook group of just breaking product over and over and over again, which it never gets tiring. I know people are like, that must get boring, but I don't know. I'm so into the cards. It's never a dull moment when opening. Like, I've never even hit a BK shard, USA. So, heck, I haven't hit an Italy one, and I've opened 100 plus Italy megas. So, there's still a lot more out there I can do, for personal excitement and fun that I just haven't achieved yet. So that's kind of how I started the whole YouTube thing. And I even did some breaks on YouTube back then. I would stream them live, uh, and have people buying, and then rip a case of S1 graph feeds or S2 graph feeds or whatever, just to be able to rip the product. Because sometimes it's not even about having it for yourself, just being able to rip it and see the cards and be able to hold them in person is just crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously people know you, like you're talking about, you're a bullseye collector. I was like, you see people collect skins that you see Rob with Lux and, even me with Moisty Mermaid, but no one really goes after their card like you do on your level. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of prompted you to stay away from, diversifying and getting other cards compared to just sticking in one lane and just trying to stack bullseye?
So what's crazy about that is I don't even I mean, I don't specifically just collect bullseye. I do have a ton of other cards, and it has blossomed into that. I think I'm just so prominent on showing them off and showing people, my entire PC of them, that it looks like that. But I have plenty of other cards besides just bullseyes. But bullseye has always been one of my favorite skins. Even actually, I'll say this much because I was a big Tfue fan. And it just happened to work out where I was a big fan of Bullseye. I was watching Tfue, and he had gotten banned before from Fortnite for selling accounts and selling skins and all that. And he said he'd never buy a skin ever again. And then he put out a tweet saying if this gets a certain amount of retweets or something, I'll buy Bullseye. And so he bought Bullseye. So that's kind of a little bit of a lore for her in a sense. But I've always just been a big fan of Bullseye. I was never able to get Renegade Raider, so she's kind of a little off brand of a Renegade Raider type, but I don't know. She just always had an appeal to me, even though she's uncommon. Obviously, for other people too, she's like a top 100 used all time skin in Fortnite, so that's got to show a little something, right? But I don't know. She's just an army girl. Super cool skin. That's
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, would you want to show a couple off real quick for anyone
Oh,
wondering?
man. I got it. Hold on.
All right.
I've got a lot here, so just give me a second.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So I will start out with what everybody knows. I won't go into the whole hollow foils and all that because everyone knows I probably have 30, 40 plus of them. I don't know. It's crazy. But so here I have a stack of slabs, which people, I don't know if anyone else can actually do this and say these are all USA shards of bullseye, right? Every single one of these. So I have to start out a BGS 8.5. I don't know if you can see that well. Can you see it?
You can see
Good.
it good enough, yeah.
It's kind of dark, but oh well. So I have my BGS 8.5. I have a BGS 9, which I still don't have a 9.5. Believe it or not, I have all these cards, and I don't have a 9.5 of her. I have an authentic shard, which I did not grade this myself. I ended up buying it off of somebody. So there's that one. I have a PSA 7. Now, a lot of the time, people don't realize like how hard these cards can be to grade. Even straight from a pack. This one has the little indent, like there's like sometimes little squiggles straight out of a mega pack for uncommon and rare cards. Matt Chasar brought it up. It happens about 25% of the time or something. So this is one with the little indent. This PSA 8 that I have, or one of these PSA 8s, I don't know which one it is. I have two PSA 8s, but one of these has the indent too. I don't know how it got made, but I can't complain. Then I have three PSA 9s. But there we go. And then my ultimate one, the PSA 10.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Which that's 10 that's 10 crystal swords right there. I actually have another one, and I had it signed by Eric Terry. And he didn't make the skin. He wasn't the concept artist or anything. But when the concept artist brings the art to Epic Games, someone has to mold the skin or add the textures and the paint. So he basically painted her over her base model, and he added all the textures to her, which I thought was, pretty relevant for not me knowing the concept artist. I wanted something signed. And this one has the indent too, obviously. That's why I got it signed. Now, I actually have a lot of Italy swords and Brazil swords, but I won't go crazy on those. I'll show you a few niche ones where I have these sealed packs, and they each have a bullseye. So I forget which one I got first, but I had this one on the front, and I always wanted one on the back, and I actually happened to pull this one, so it worked out. I've never opened them. They could be PSA 10s for all I know, but I don't plan on opening them. I just have them sealed in the pack. again, like, it's just really weird stuff that most people wouldn't think about having, but for me as a collector, that's what I wanted to do. Call me crazy, but that's just how my mind worked. And then I have all these, which I don't even know where to start, but these are going to be all prototypes. So
did we lose Westrum there? Oh.
There we go. I'm back.
Everything good now?
I think so.
All right.
You hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let me make sure I have this right. So I have 4 Italies.
All right.
We have the CGC6 poop, which this one I'm probably going to end up cracking and sending to SGC now that they started again.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know this, but I actually sent a USA prototype to SGC at the time, and they told me they would not grade the prototype Bullseye because it was too close to the release version. So I sent them all these pictures. I'm like, there's a see-through logo. Like, you're grading all these other ones. Why won't you grade my Bullseye? And at the time, they said, our grading standard has changed since we graded those. I was like, well, that's stupid because you graded all of these other prototypes and not mine. So I don't know if I'll send that to SGC quite yet, but I have the CGC6, the CGC8, which this is the old label, obviously. I've got a mix of them. The 8.5 and the 9. So this 9 is actually the highest graded Italy Bullseye prototype. The second best one is the 8.5, and the third best one is the 8. And someone actually owns 2 7s out there. So I own 3 of the highest grades, which I'm getting those 7s. You guys will see eventually. I'll have those 7s. I know of at least one more USA that I'm after that I'm probably going to get. But obviously, USA has some better quality. So we have the 8.5, and then we have 3 9s.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So again, yes, the Italy stuff has the Italy corners, stuff like that, which is going to very much limit your chances of getting a good grade. Like this 6 has a terrible corner. There's nothing that's going to fix that, but I still had to have it.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are all my bullseyes.
Yeah. And that's just an awesome collection, an awesome set that you've been working on there. Just getting as many bullseyes as you can, all the nice ones, crystal shards and prototypes. And I know you mentioned early on that you do also have, other nice cards. Would you mind showing some of those off for everybody?
All right, I'll start with what everyone probably. Actually, we'll leave those for a little bit.
Okay. Like.
So again, you said I don't really, or you don't know if I collect a lot other than bullseye. So also some cards that I'm really just keen on keeping and not really moving, I guess. So here are some of my PSA 10s.
Okay.
So I have this abstract PSA 10 crystal shard. Now this I really wanted because I wanted to pair this with my technique, which I'll show in a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's another one, which I call this, it's a PSA 10 Shadow Ops crystal shard. This one is on eBay. It's listed super high, kind of just, I do that a lot. Even Taking High Ground called me out on that, posting just ridiculous prices. It's like, yes, people can complain, but anyone who knows me, like, they know. Even if I was offered probably like 5K on one of my USA shard bullseyes, I'd probably cancel the sale and be like, oh, never mind, I lost it. Just something stupid.
Yeah.
But this one, I really feel like when I was first playing, she was like one of the OG sweat skins. Because there really weren't many skins to start out. And so a lot of people used her, and she was, kind of just a sweaty, popular skin back in the day.
Yeah, and another thing about that card is the bolt action sniper on there. That's really
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rob brought that up on Taking High Ground, if I remember correctly. And you can actually, you can see the whole thing on the back. It's that is one where they really messed up on the guns. You're like, couldn't they have just removed the SMG or, just some... They could have removed the clinger and put a bolt action sniper, something. Yeah. I would have taken a bolt action sniper over everything but the pump shotgun, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
And then this is another one. Again, like just OG super sweaty. I feel like a lot of people kind of sleep on these sort of skins for some reason, but if you really played OG, Scarlet Defender was a big skin. I don't think she
Yeah.
released super early. I don't remember her exact release time, but
I believe it was
another just
season 2
really
with
sweaty
Wukong,
one.
right? Was it season
Really?
one with?
Holy.
I believe so. I'm not. I don't know this for a fact, but I think it might have been.
I don't know, but I bought her super early, kind of right when she came out almost.
Yeah.
Uh Here's actually a recent pickup that I really like. It's another one where it's like she's not necessarily slept on, but I feel like people don't necessarily appreciate her as much as they could. So I have that SGC 9 of her.
Yeah.
I might crack this though because I'm not a fan of SGC that much anymore.
Yeah. That Scar Ranger is beautiful. That's a really nice card there.
Yeah, and I got it for I don't remember the exact price, but it was a little over $300. So I
Yeah.
thought that was a pretty good deal. I bought it right when it got listed.
Was that an eBay snipe?
Oh yeah, 100%. I
Man.
had to.
Oh,
Um, I'm one of the kings at eBay sniping. Nothing
yeah,
gets
for sure.
past me. So this one I've had for a long time. It's a BGS 9.5 Bright Bomber. What's special about this one is you're never gonna be able to see it, but there. It has two 10s upgrades and two 9.5, so it was zero point 0.5 off of a 10. And I was looking over all the ones that ended up getting BGS 10s, and I feel like this would have been one of the biggest cards to actually hit that, but obviously BGS hates me.
That's
And
still
they couldn't
incredible.
do that for me. Yeah, this is probably the cleanest Fortnite card I own. Like, it's almost perfect, so that tells you how hard. Like, I can tell you one of the corners, yes, it's not perfect, that's why I got the 9.5 for the corners, but they gave me a 9.5 on the edges too, so it's really tough to hit a 10 for BGS, but it's something I wanna do one day. I'm stacking bullseye base cards specifically for when I'm rich one day, and I can send in, like, 1,000 without caring. Obviously, that might never happen, but it's something I wanna do.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's another card. I see Black Ash in the chat. I have a, Clicks autograph on the spark plug.
Okay.
So, he actually let this go in a deal, which I actually got this in the same deal. It was such a good deal. I don't know why he did it, but so I have the Clicks auto. He got me a sealed Fortnite game too. There was a bunch of other stuff. There
Yeah.
was actually a Booga autograph too in it, which I ended up selling, which people are gonna hate me for that, but I don't know. I don't really watch Booga. I watch Clicks majority of the time. And I get the whole uh you know, he'll probably be the number one autograph, maybe behind a couple people, maybe like Ninja, but I don't know. He's the World Cup winner. That'd be hard to top. But it went to somebody who's an avid collector, big Booga fan. So I didn't think twice.
Yeah, for sure.
And then of course, actually let me put these here too. So
Right.
these ones, everyone knows these ones. So the first one is my Technique prototype shard, which I've had a lot of people reach out and tell me like they're absolutely massive cards and hold on, I'll put up for a little bit longer and how much they want the cards, which I completely understand. This one is just I don't know. The whole green aspect of her when she's not supposed to be green is so appealing to me. So a lot of people would be crazy about that, but I'd probably let the Galaxy go before Technique. But so that card's absolutely nuts. You got a CGC 9. I think it was zero point 0.5 away from a 9.5. And with their new grading standard, it actually would have been a 10, which would have been crazy to think about having a Crystal Shard prototype with that grade. And then the second one is the Galaxy 8.5. And yeah, so people, generally have a pretty cool reaction to them. These are technically, and the way I word this, just hear me out, are the rarest Fortnite cards of all time. Again, Renegade Raider, i- it's definitely the most valuable, at least for USA print in my eyes. But it's not a crystal shard. there's 2 crystal swords, and we know crystal swords are the highest rarity. So until someone pulls out like a true unreleased skin crystal sword card, I would argue these are the highest, rarity. And these ones, they're nothing special. It's a PSA 8 and a raw Galaxy. But at the time when I didn't know if these were legit, I had to buy these, and I put these under microscope and would actually take pictures, under microscopic view of each one. This one was a pain because it was in a slab. I didn't think that through. I should have just cracked it, but I never did. So these are the ones that actually compared the 2 cards to find out if they were legit. I did a whole entire interview on Taking High Ground about that. If anybody wants to check that out, it's way better than what I'm about to say, like live on an interview without a script or anything. But I went to CGC twice to get those, authenticated, graded, and once the whole process was done, I was so relieved because I actually had them for, I think it was like 4.5 months, maybe. I had them for like 4.5 months before I told it was probably about 4 months till I told anybody because I had to tell Taking High Ground before I went on their live stream. I told a couple close friends right before I did the live stream, so it was a crazy process, but I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just insane. Like you were talking about, you didn't tell anyone about it. You kept it quiet, and you got them authenticated. That's just really cool. You're able to do it like that. And I feel like the next thing I want to talk about is when we were even scheduling the interview, you were talking about you can't do it on this day because there was the no build cash cup. Now this is a question I like asking a lot of my guests: is how has the cards impacted like skins you purchase in game or skins you wear in game, or do you just stick with Bullseye?
So, I mean, I do use other skins. I do use Bullseye majority of the time. There's times where I do switch. A lot of time in competitive play, I will use Backlash, which I have a bunch of them at PSA right now. So I'm hoping I hit at least 110. With Series 3, they have some pretty bad edges, so I don't really ever have super high hopes on my S3 cards. But so I sent that to PSA, a few of the cracked ice, and I'm hoping those come back at 10. But for Backlash, she's a big part of my competitive play, which I just used in this tournament, which was yesterday, which I actually qualified for the finals. And the craziest part is I didn't have my normal teammate that I usually play with. So I ended up playing with someone from Europe. It was like 3 a.m. for them. They couldn't talk. They were on 140 ping, and we had never played together before that I know of. So we were kind of just winging it. And, basically how the Fortnite victory cups work is you have to hit a certain amount of points in the top. It was the top 1,800 teams. And I think the qualifying points was like 187. We went into our last game with like 118 points. And if you know anything about Fortnite competitive, that's like almost impossible to come back from. And as you move on, the games get harder because you go against people with higher points. And we dropped 79 points on the last game, and we got the win for it, which put us in the finals, which we ended up pretty much getting smoked in the finals besides one game. We took like 9th place. But yeah, I'm very, very into Fortnite competitive. I watch all the Twitch streams. I try it myself. For the build mode, I'm kind of out of the question, but this was specifically for the 0 build game mode that I play it.
Okay, nice. And that's pretty cool. You qualified for the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like also just going back to the cards, you don't only just collect Bullseye, you also go after variants, the Easter variant and also the male version. I mean, would you mind showing some of those off?
I was actually thinking about making sure I had the Sure Shot with me, but I think it's up here somewhere.
Okay.
It'd be a hassle. That's one of the only ones I didn't bring out. With Pastel, I can show you real fast.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll just show this one because this is probably one of my favorites. Is the BGS 9.5 Pastel Cracked Ice, which this is one that I used recently in game, obviously for Easter. So I do have a very limited set of skins. Like I'll go Royale Knight, Bullseye, Backlash, Pastel, Scarlet Defender, and just a few other skins. I do own hundreds. I just never use them,
Yeah, it seems like you've decided to stick more towards BGS compared to PSA. when you grade yourself?
So originally, I kind of thought that way. I don't know. I think BGS in my eyes is the best at like actually grading your card, but for monetary value, it's not there, and it looks like PSA's running away with it. So PC wise, I collect a lot of BGS stuff where it's like I don't plan on reselling it or anything. But for PSA, yes, I'm going with PSA a lot now. I haven't subbed to BGS in forever, but I've been doing a lot of PSA because in reality, I can just go with PSA, flip a few cards, and basically pay for the sub, which is not going to happen very easily with Beckett. You really have to find better, like the bigger buyers for that company in order to flip them. Otherwise, you just can't. And that's kind of the approach I take with a lot of my grading is I'll set in some cards where it's like I don't really have any attachment to them, but I will sell or trade them to either get a bullseye or pay for the grading fees, which on my last one I basically already paid for the grading because I posted on Instagram, there was a 6-shooter which I bought raw on eBay for like $75. I graded it with PSA, got a PSA 10, and I let it go for like $400, and that basically paid for majority of the sub. And then there were a few other cards like that, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, I just go with PSA now. It's definitely the best value in terms of when you're grading with them, you're gonna get the best return. Even on a PSA 9, it feels like people are valuing the PSA 9s about the same as a BGS 9.5, if not higher, which I think is crazy. If I see a good BGS 9.5, I'm gonna pick it up, especially if it's gonna sell lower than a 9, because you always have the cross potential opportunity, and you basically get the same card, if not better condition, for a lower price.
Okay. And like you were talking about getting that 6-shooter for $75, and you talk about the Scar Range for 300. Now you don't have to reveal the secrets, but how do you think eBay snipes have impacted your collection?
Okay, well, for the most part, I got the rarest Fortnite cards ever through an eBay. I guess it wouldn't be really an eBay snipe because they were up there as an eBay auction for like a week. So I literally had to sit there and wait for this auction, which I knew they were prototypes for an entire week, to finally get those cards. So I guess it's somewhat of an eBay snipe, but a very delayed eBay snipe. But as for um my other cards, I've sniped like a Nogops Crystal Shard. There was a 4-card lot. It had like Nogops, Magnus, First Strike Specialist, and a Funk Ops. And I got them for like $200, and I ended up grading them, making somewhat over a grand for that deal. I don't know. It's a lot of just not even. I feel like a lot of people over obsess about the condition on certain cards, and then sometimes I can just know, like, okay, this card is definitely gonna be worth more than this one at this price. Um, and that's kind of how I do a lot of it. A lot of my snipes are definitely like monetary things because again, I'm really only after a few certain skins where I'm just super crazy for. If I end up liking the card or the grade that it gets, I'll keep it. But unless it's a bullseye, I really just a lot of it I'm super flexible with. I guess not this technique anymore, which I probably should be because it's a massive card, but I don't know. It's gonna be really hard to get that off my hands. Um, but yeah, I have these, which I had my last sub. I don't know how I got so lucky, but I got the 2 PSA 10 PLE Hollows. This is part of the deal I'm working out for more bullseye cards. These both are probably not going to be in my collection very long. Same with this too. This one right here, the PSA 10 BK base. That is probably going to be in this deal because I'm working to get more bullseye crystal swords and prototypes in one deal. So it's going to be massive. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. So, and then you guys talk about you do series 1, 2, and 3. Do you have any goals for Reloaded or the stickers?
So for Reloaded specifically, I hate saying this out loud because I'll just do it. I think it's been long enough. I have enough. So I am specifically after like some reloaded cards that are so undervalued in my opinion. There's Finesse Finisher, the soccer skin, huge part of competitive play. I guess not as much anymore, but back in the day before Backlash and all that took over, a lot of people use the soccer skins to tell you we're on the same team. You don't want to mess with us. Um, Another one's Mogul Master, and actually made like a. I never released it, but it was like a Google Doc of the top 7 underrated Fortnite skins just out of the blue. And Mogul Master was one I put on there. And Clicks actually just used it in the last FNCS that he played. So, since they just announced that this next tournament is in Dallas, I hope Clicks goes there because I want to get that autographed on Mogul Master. Randy, if you're hearing this, please do not take my ID. He probably will. He's the king of that. But that's definitely probably my number one reloaded one that I want. I definitely want a PSA 10. It doesn't even exist yet for Mogul Master, but I have probably about like 50, 60 raw of Mogul Master that I'm just going to probably send one day when I feel like the value's right for Mogul Master and just hopefully hit a PSA 10 on that. But that one is just seriously so undervalued because at the time when I made the list too, it was probably like number maybe like 70 or 80 all time used, right? And just the past 2 seasons alone, she went up to like 25 and then 22. This season alone, I think she might. I don't know if she cracked the top 10. I'd have to look, but she was pretty close. Let me see.
Okay, yeah, and that's pretty cool that you're.
Yeah, she's number 10 this season.
Wow,
And then 22 all time.
that's just
So
insane.
she just shot up like crazy. So I've been collecting a lot of her. The secret's out, guys. I know a lot of you guys listen to me because I talk about Bullseye and she 5X's in price. So that's gonna suck, but
Yeah,
it's whatever.
I know occasionally I hear Mogul Master's name as an underrated card for Reloaded, but I feel like it never actually reflects on the price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Until now. Just watch. She's gonna
Until now.
2-3x out of nowhere. And I'll be
$20
stuck. I don't even mean to like financially say that, guys. Like I told you guys I already have a lot, so if you're trying to go after her, I already have a ton, it doesn't matter. So I just had to I a lot of the time I don't say it until I have quite a few of them. Let's go Texas, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
And no plans for the stickers?
I don't really know. I'm not Bullseye is only in the gold frame one for sticker wise, and I don't know. I've never been like a big sticker collector. I can see if people are into that sort of thing that they would probably have an appeal, but I'm not really into them very much. The only one that I had my eyes on was there's like a BGS 10 Galaxy sticker, and of course I have the prototype, so I was like, well, maybe I go after it, but I never pulled the trigger. But it was up there for like $250, and it's like, well, do I want to spend that on a sticker, But I guess I pay more for just cardboard, so that is probably what I'd have to end up be paying for that card. And it's a BGS 10. That is not easy to come by.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you showed the sealed game earlier. Do you have any interest in the comics or other, more on the fringe or niche side, like the pins?
So this right here is a stack of Fortnite comics.
Okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of 1 in 50 variants. I have an autograph one in there, but I never really talk about them very much. I think if we're talking like the bigger risk, I think the cards might actually just have a bigger risk than the comics, knowing that the comics come with the in-game codes and are like actually affiliated with the games and the cards. I just personally value the cards more, so I still collect the comics in that sense. I don't really have any attachment to them. There's one. It's like, who is it? It's the Foundation and like Doctor Doom, and they're like fighting each other almost on the cover. That one's sick. And there's another one where like it's Spider-Man and Jonesy swinging through tilted towers. That's another sick one. But other than that, I mean, I collect them. I don't really talk about them. I can see why a lot of other people like them. And in fact, I have some with like the Batman code on there, and I don't even have them in game. So like I could get it if I wanted to, but I just never opened them or thought about doing it. I don't even know, are they expired yet, or is that just gonna last forever?
I don't know because I actually am in the same situation. I have a few of the Spider-Man cosmetic codes, and I don't even have that stuff in game, but I just
Hmm.
have the comics sealed. So I don't know. They probably are expired.
The Spider-Man one though, I think I got that for free from somebody. I don't remember, but I think someone just gave it to me one day. So shout out to you. I know you're in Facebook. I don't know her. It was a girl too. I don't know her name, but she just gave it to me for free. And even famous players in the stream, I ended up winning a giveaway of his, so I got a Spider-Man comic from him.
Okay,
2025 they expire, famous said. So next year, wow.
that's good to know. So you collected sports cards before, right? Before Fortnite.
I would say I was very into like Pokemon and that sort of thing more.
Okay,
I do have sports cards and mainly like Aaron Rodgers rookie cards, Matthew Stafford, um, Justin Herbert, few quarterbacks that I just personally like. I don't have any Patrick Mahomes or stuff, which sucks because I could have. I don't know. I kind of looked over eBay in 2017 and saw that, and so I'm not making that mistake again. Like all the underrated quarterbacks, their cards are like $5 an autograph or whatever. If they're still in the league, I probably have their autograph. That's just how it is, and I feel like it's an okay investment if any of them blow up. Kind of like how Patrick Mahomes did. You're sitting on a boatload. But for PC, I like the Packers and the Jaguars. Those are my main teams. And then I don't know. I collect some Chiefs, and I got some Brett Favre too. But
okay, yes,
again, that's just Packers.
yeah. So where I was going with that is, do you apply anything you learned through Pokemon or sports into the Fortnite card market?
So specifically for Pokemon, I have so many Pokemon cards in the worst condition ever. Like first edition fossil hollows and all that sort of thing. Like ones I literally pulled straight from a pack where I just played with these cards. There used to be a game called like Toontown, and you got like these laugh points or whatever, and you got these gags that you use against each other. I would use Pokemon cards when I was so little as like my little character, and I'd play just games with my brother in our room, and we would just destroy these cards. And we're talking like actually, the most expensive ones. We just didn't know at the time. So definitely now, if I have a Fortnite card, it gets a sleeve and a top loader, even if it's worth $1 or $2, just because you never know. Um, I definitely use that sort of thing. I do not love Mac Jones. Anyway, um, yeah, I definitely like keep good care of all my cards now compared to back then. And I don't know. I think that's the main thing I really apply now. I guess another thing would be a lot of people, and I still do this a lot myself. Like spend a lot of time opening packs and product thinking you're going to hit the best thing. But in reality, you're probably best going the single route. And I know I'm a breaker, and that's why I put in things in place like the pick your team breaks and all that, where you can get in breaks at a fraction of the price to hit a massive card instead of just buying the product straight up. It's somewhat like a lottery ticket, but it's a little easier than that when there's only 10 numbers that you can hit from in my live breaks. So I guess those are the two main things that I keep in mind now in comparison to when I was younger.
Okay, yeah. And so I don't. Is there anything else that you just want to bring up and talk about? Because those are my questions that I had for you.
There, I kind of breezed through them. I will say one thing is I feel like a lot of the time with our community, there's like a little bit of disconnect between like social platforms, which is why I'm being more active on Instagram and stuff like that. Wow, that's why I have a YouTube and Instagram, the Facebook. I'm on Discord. But people are like in different sections. And I was just talking to someone today about their cards, like the recent auctions by Eduardo, on eBay with the crystal shards. I have people come to my DMs and I bring it up. I'm like, or I ask them in DMs and I'm like, so is the card in good condition when it arrives to you? And a lot of them say yes, and they're like, oh, it's really good. And I have to tell them, I'm like, if these are from Eduardo, I'm sorry, but these are not gonna PSA 10 or whatever. Not trying to bash his sales or anything, but I feel like there's a lot of disconnect there where people don't realize like the amount of people you can cover and community you can cover when you're on every one of these platforms. So something just crashed back there, but uh I'm on every single platform to try and do that, sort of communicate with people. And again, you can pretty much spread the word too. You never know what posts are going to go viral or anything like that. So I've been doing the Instagram thing now, which I don't think I've missed a day for a while. I've been going crazy on it. Um, I've been very inactive on YouTube, but I kind of set it up more so like if Fortnite cards do explode, I'll always have that. It's already got a set foundation and videos people can watch. But yeah, so I think that's a big part of what I hope a lot of you guys end up trying to think about is try and go on every single platform, make an account, even if you don't really use it very much, just so you can kind of communicate with people, see what's going on, because there's stuff that can happen in Discord you'd have no idea about, especially with what's I'm not going to talk about it, but there's stuff in the works, and you definitely want to be on Facebook. If you guys are not on Facebook, join the Facebook group. There's some pretty crazy stuff planned. Wait, Richard, are you even in the Facebook group? I don't think you are.
No, I'm actually not in the Facebook group. You know,
Bro, I'm telling you, it's so helpful. Like, you see the whole other side of stuff that's like just not on eBay and all that. Like, people don't realize, like, and there's people in the Facebook group who even say stuff like, "Oh, you guys are selling it here instead of eBay, so there's no like real comp." For a while, you can go back on Facebook posts, see the edit history or whatever, and you can see comps for these cards. If they go, "Oh, this card's sold," and they remove it from their post, you can just check the edit history and you can see all the posts on there. Because one of the rules is you're not supposed to delete your post, so it's supposed to stay up there for forever. And I guess I don't know if Facebook auto deletes. Sometimes they do. So until that point, they stay up there for so long. You can go on a post, view edit history, and you can see all that sort of thing. But there's so many deals on there too. I mean, you were talking about sniping. I've sniped so many things on I sniped one of my bullseye shards through the Facebook group. Some guy from Canada posted it, and I forget, but he wanted it was like $350 for a shadow op shard, a bullseye shard, and like 3 hollows. I was like, that's a no brainer. I'll buy it. Not even knowing the condition. I think it ended up coming back a PSA 9 for the bullseye, and the shadow ops was a PSA 9 too. So you just never know. Covering every single social platform, even Discord. I bet you one of these days I'm gonna snipe something on the Discord. Not enough people post on there yet, I guess. That's part of it. There's like maybe one new sales post a day on the Discord for taking high ground.
I like how you brought up condition, like even like back when you talk about Pokemon and like porkins and stuff, and you can't worry about the grade for a lot of these cards because they're so rare. It's like buy the card, not the grade, is what I always say. You hear a lot of people always say that, and it's like I think that's the thing, you brought that up a little bit.
Yeah, and there's plenty of USA shards out there that are in terrible condition, like my authentic bullseye shard. I still spent a pretty penny on that. So guys, just remember, this is the way I see it too. With every single skin, whether they're $10 now or $50, even if they're like the lowest of the low tier, I'm talking like hollow foil specifically, there is going to be a fan out there for every single skin eventually. It's too big of a game not to. You're not going to have no fans for any single skin. Every skin is going to have somebody. Whether it's Brutus, you're going to have a Brutus cracked ice collector. You're going to have what's another? Brutus is actually pretty popular.
He's in my PC.
Oh, well, see you guys, perfect.
Yeah.
Another, I don't know, like Diamond Diva or Athleisure Assassin. Those ones are sweaty skins, but what do they go on eBay for? Pennies, dollars. No one cares about them very much. So those are skins. People are gonna collect those someday. The sweaty players are gonna want them, and so every card I would never overlook. 8s are great. I agree with you, Smoked Out Turtle. A lot of the time, people care so much about the grade and want 5, 6, 7x the price of a PSA 8. I'm not, crazy about paying those heavy prices. So I don't mind picking up an 8 every now and then, especially for Bullseye, which I get taxed on that now. Speaking of PSA 8s, I don't know if they might be in the stream, but there's just some trades where people just want absolutely absurd stuff for their PSA cards, specifically Bullseye. So I thought it was pretty crazy, but I don't know, maybe other people wouldn't. I won't go into details. I won't call anybody out, but
Yeah,
please
and
be nice to me, guys. Please.
I've even experienced the same thing with Moisty. You know, they I got a good deal for you, and then they
Mhm.
ask like 4x value for a Moisty Merman. It's like, I can't do that.
See, that is just it's insane, bro. It's part of like the gift and curse where I'm so active on Facebook. I'm constantly sharing my stuff. And I love doing that. You know, I love getting people involved and showing them like what I truly love to collect. I like seeing people's reaction to my entire Bullseye collection. Yeah, a little bit of an ego there, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like seeing it. I don't think anyone else has built a collection as crazy as this one.
No,
At least not yet. There might be somebody out there.
I think you're right in saying that. I mean, you might have the best single skin collection out there, and you probably do.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else with like 8 prototypes of a
Yeah,
certain skin or 11 crystal swords of a certain skin, which I actually lost track of that at one point because I forgot about my autographs one. So for a long time, I was telling people, "Oh yeah, I have 10 crystal sword bullseyes," and I was like, "Wait, I have an autograph one that technically counts." So I actually have 11. I'm planning to get that to 12 to 13, maybe 14 here soon. Uh, there's a lot of moving parts to it, and I'm hoping, I don't know, in the next 3, 4 months or so, I can acquire a couple more that I'm working towards. But it's really hard out there because they know you're after it. They again want 3, 4x. Um, you know what? I will bring up the trade because someone told me uh I offered this straight up for a bullseye PSA 8 shard, right? And they basically said I'd have to add another bullseye shard to this for them to do the deal. I was like, so you want me to trade a bullseye shard, my authentic bullseye shard, obviously, but you want me to add a bullseye shard and the Skull Ranger shard for a PSA 8? That's pretty wild. And they kept saying,
yeah,
well, yeah, ever since you're after it, she's super high value. And I'm like, that's not what it's about, though, you know? I'm about, I feel like this is a very good value to throw at somebody, even if I did get it for 300. I sniped it, you know, like, I'm not going to let that go for 300.
yeah. And I'm not trying to take anything against Bullseye, but Skull Ranger is probably a better card.
100%. I see her as like a top probably 20 skin, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
So I don't know. That's why I put her. I get even taking high ground moved her up on the top 50 list, which to show you guys like how unbiased I was. I went to him and I was like, I don't know if this is true actually. Like I buy them all, which is mainly the only reason her value went up. But everything in the game is showing her as a downtrend. So we're talking like game wise, she's fallen off. But then in the cards, since I'm buying them, her price goes up. So then she moves up the all-time list. It's just a weird sort of. It's a
yeah.
weird way to look at it.
And there's also there's also other Bullseye collectors out there that it's hard to find them, so that also jacks up the price as well. There's other
Hmm.
people that might want her.
Yeah, for the most part, the only bullseye shards that have been listed on eBay in probably the past, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, I ended up owning them, right? So for the past year and a half, 2 years, I think it's been about a year and a half because Matt Chasar picked up a PSA 10 bullseye shard for his collection. I think he paid like $1,200, which might have been the the turning point for people. Like, holy, that he just paid 1,200 for this card. Maybe she is kind of up there. And I will tell you, my PSA 10 was not that cheap. I paid more than $1,200 for it. Specifically like through trade value, because people will want to get so much out of you for it. I think the trade ended up being around 1,500 cash plus trade, which I'm okay with. It's a PC thing, and a lot of the time, when I'm talking like the 6 shooter flipping that, it's a lot of cards like that in trade value that go towards that, where I get them pretty cheap, and then I can use that towards my own personal gain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. The way you're able to stack that the one card. I enjoy seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if there's anything else you'd like to add, but other than that, I think this is good.
I mean, I appreciate you having me on here. I've been
Yeah,
looking forward to it since you asked me to come on here, and I don't know. It's I think being able to talk like this, like I love talking about Fortnite cards. I can talk about it for hours and hours and hours. Heck, I play the game and then talk about them at the same time with people from the Facebook group constantly. Even Wayne's messaging me right now on Facebook. If you're gonna be on Fortnite or whatever. But I guess that's basically it. Do you have a perm duo? I do not actually. I have like an off and on one, but I don't have a permanent one. So if you're good, let me know because I need someone who's not from Europe to team up with.
Yeah, I do want to say, I really appreciate you coming on as well. Like I said in the beginning, I watched you when I first started collecting, so it's kind of cool for me to, get you on my channel after you really helped me start my collection just information wise.
I appreciate it. I don't know if I'm like the best person to listen to information wise early on because I was kind of just collecting myself too. But information wise, guys, I wouldn't say taking high ground is the best for every little thing, guys, but they are very good at a lot of the stuff they do. Like I don't personally agree with some of their top 50, but they do a good job at trying. We all
Yeah,
have our own opinions. Like I can disagree, and yes, people, you can get mad at me for disagreeing, but it's just everybody has their own opinions. I think Panda Team Leader shouldn't be a top 50. I'm calling it out right here.
I agree with that one.
I would have put Raptor up there way easily above her, but
I agree. I see that.
I don't know. It's just people have their opinions. I can see why. They probably looked into the PSA pop, the comps, all that stuff. But sometimes you have to just sit back and say Raptor's a better skin than Panda Team Leader. I don't know. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and speaking of Raptor, you can't forget about C-Day.
That's another point I always brought up to people. I was like, I don't mind collecting Raptor because C-Day was such a massive part of at peak C-Day, he pulled probably 2x the views of anybody else on YouTube when he posted. His videos would literally get like 7 million views in one day of him just always rocking the Raptor skin and always being the thumbnail. So that's 7 million people every time showing this skin over and over and over. It's hard to forget.
Yeah, and you can also make that point for Arctic Assassin with Fearless.
Yep, that's another big one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely
Mile High Freedom. You're looking for a sunflower. I've had 2 go through my hands now. You gotta reach out to me sometimes, guy.
Didn't a sunflower last weekend at auction for a decent price, I believe.
I saw some hollows. Actually, I think you're right. Yeah, there was a raw one.
A Crystal Shard.
Yep.
Yeah. You see her a good amount on eBay, actually.
She does show up quite a bit, but she's a really hard grade. I don't know if it's the hollow or the Crystal Shard. One of them is a super hard grade for her. Same with Hayseed. I think it's the hollow. It's like 210s and like 30 graded or something nuts like that. That's another thing you guys got to look out for. There's another one. What is it? Like Star Spangled, the boy version, Star Spangled Ranger. He's like top 1 or 2 PSA 10, but he's got a bunch graded.
Yeah.
I got another DM. Too funny.
But and we're talking about what I already forgot her name, the female version of Hayseed. But she came with she was part of the same set as the Sunsprout back bling, and that's one of the most sweaty back blings out there.
Is that not Sunflower?
It is Sunflower. Yeah, and then the Sunsprout back bling, that's like one of the ones that only back bling that sweats actually use.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, the whole back bling thing, I wouldn't say any back bling deserves to be on a card, but like we were talking about with the bolt action, there were so many like the scar should have ended up on a card. Imagine a scar with like an orange background.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Crystal Shard scar. Instead they had to put SMGs and all that nonsense. Don't get me wrong. I will use an SMG in a fight if I have to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would have even semi-auto sniper is pretty solid, but take that out for the bolt if you have to. I don't know why they did it.
Yeah, I know there's a few backblings in some of the sticker sets. Like I know Moisty Merman's backbling is in the original sticker set, Ready to Jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another thing is we have all the prototype data now too. So to think they didn't even think about changing the guns, all they really did was change like the direction of some of them and the whole
Mhm.
view of them. They never once said maybe we should add a bolt action. Instead, they were like, let's remove Renegade Raider and add Mesmer, this Egyptian green lizard crazy dude,
Yeah.
instead of Renegade Raider. Like, what were they thinking? So I don't know. That's
Well,
just
then
my opinion.
also with the pickaxes, like we got the lamp and was it the gatekeeper? It's like some of
Where was
those.
like Rainbow Smash? That finally came out
Yeah.
in Series 3. Like that would have been great. I don't know when that one came out, according to the set, but it had to have been pretty early.
Yeah.
So that would have been a good one. Even the if you're not gonna have the Reaper, have the
Yeah.
pencil pickaxe. I love the pencil pickaxe. But yeah, speaking of Reaper, that's the biggest scam ever from Panini not giving us Reaper
Yeah.
or Elite Agent in Series 1. That would have looked so nice in Series 1.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is like that's why the promo set is all epics because there's so many epic skins. It's just hard to fit them all in one set and get all the right ones. So I understand why Elite Agent didn't make it, but yeah, she should have been in there.
Yeah, just remove straw ups or something. Hey
Yeah,
man,
straw.
put an Elite Agent.
Yeah.
There's so many skins like that. It's just like why? Why? And I'm sorry if you PC those skins, but
Yeah. We're just ripping on someone's whole PC right now.
we could have had a Heyman in Series 3 and had Elite Agent in Series 1.
Hey, man's my PC card. He's a PC for me. I got a
No,
shark.
right, really?
Yeah, I got a card right next to me.
You know he's not very popular though, right? Just making sure you know.
Got him right here.
Oh god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I thought that was funny.
Bro, I've done that twice now for you. You PC everything I trash on.
Oh,
No, Brutus isn't even trash, guys. Brutus is actually so fire. He's got technical storyline behind him, so he's fire.
Here's Brutus.
Yeah. Oh man, he's got him on speed dial too to show me.
Yeah.
Bullseye was part of the Herald event or whatever too. And
oh yeah.
she was like the face of it, which that shocked me a lot because I was, I've been a big fan of her forever. So I don't know if you can consider that storyline. She's kind of just she was probably the one skin they picked out just randomly to lead the whole cause. But for her to be the front of that, I feel like that, I don't know. That gave me a little bit more of a game attachment where they're like truly recognizing her as like a lead sort of character.
Yeah, and
so cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That is pretty cool. That would have been really cool for you. I can only imagine if they did something like that for Moisty, I'd be like, jumping for joy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Did
they never do something for him for like Moisty Mai or anything, or no?
No, like, he's created off of that, but there was never really anything for him. Yeah, other than a couple cool like loading screens, that's all he's gotten.
Mm-hmm. Yo, David, I kind of agree with that, but imagine a close-up Elite Agent. Like, it would have just been so sick. I don't know. I don't think any card can technically beat like that whole S1 design. I get like full skin wise, you want to see it, but I don't know. So it looks vintage in a way for S1 compared to like S3 with the whole thing. Even S2 is a little bit more zoomed out than S1 originally was. If you want to see a really zoomed in one, the Sergeant Green Clover, the S1 prototype is literally just her face. It's like you can't even see under it.
I'll have to find that one. I haven't seen that.
It's so bad. I'm so glad it's literally like they cut her off at her neck, like right here. It's pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know how long you usually do these things. What happens?
I got nothing going on. I can keep going if you want. Just keep talking about whatever comes to mind.
I'm not gonna go for it. But yeah, if you guys want to check the whole Sure Shot thing on my Instagram, I just posted them a couple of days ago. I've been really active on there, showing a whole bunch of my PC and like stuff I ended up pulling. Like I put up a Lux Crystal Shard on my Instagram and a Tomato Head. Both those I pulled in a live break for people because I do actually we didn't really talk about that very much on here.
Yeah,
so on Facebook, I do breaks all the time on there, and they're so much fun because you can literally like I do all sorts. So you can like have a random team, and if the card ends in that number, it goes to you. You can literally do a pick your team break where I ran the numbers. I get all the comps for cards, the amount of good skins in certain spots, and I will individually price the spots. So if you want a Black Knight spot, you're paying a whole bunch of money, right? But if you want, uh, I think wild card spot is one of the lower ones because besides wild cards, it's like Funk Ops and a few other skins. But I individually price these spots where people can get in a break, and we may hit a wild card holo, and that spot might be $6 for an entire S1 grab feed, while the Black Knight spot is more like 20, right? And so they're all individually priced. I do stuff like that. Pick your team, random team. I throw all sorts of product in there. I might actually be the person who's ripped the most product ever now. Probably not. I'm probably lying, but thank you, Warfighter. Appreciate it. Yeah, I try to make them as fun as possible. Combine a bunch of product in there. We've had so many good hits. To think our worst, so I've ripped probably like 7 S1 Mega, maybe 6 S1 Mega boxes, like USA print and breaks. Again, these aren't small breaks. You have to like pay like $200 a spot, and there's like S2 Megas included and all that. But we hit stuff like Nog Op Shard, Funk Op Shard, Tomato Head, Skull Trooper, Lux. Did I say DJ Yonder?
No, you haven't said him yet, but wow.
DJ Yonder. We hit all sorts of good hits in there, and our worst one was like a Bunny Moon and a Black Heart. Which, if you PSA 10 a Black Heart, that's not even that bad.
Blackheart is terrible. He's a couple hundred raw.
Yeah, so definitely look into where's the breaks at. I said on Facebook. Heck, I might try some on Instagram. I don't know. The whole thing with Instagram though is like I actually made this account off of like my personal one, which I wouldn't say I'm like embarrassed of the whole Fortnite card thing, but it is kind of weird, like knowing a bunch of like girls from high school follow the account, and I just go live selling Fortnite stuff. It's a little weird, but I post it all on there anyway, so at this point I don't know if it if it matters. I'm already in too deep, guys.
I like how you brought that up. It's like, I'm in my senior year of high school. I hope nobody finds out about this. It'd be over,
Yeah, I'm not too embarrassed about it now that I'm like super into it, which is why I probably might start doing it one time. But I used to do some whatnot streams, but I don't know. Besides Facebook, there's just not enough of a community built anywhere else. And for Instagram, I understand there's a community built on Instagram, but it's not like they're all directed to your page. In the Facebook group, you go live, you're on the front of the entire group, right? So there's nowhere like that besides maybe Whatnot that will really push your content. So maybe I try it sometime and try and promote it a little bit. Because again, some of you guys probably have never been in the breaks before, and they're so much fun. And sometimes I just throw cards in. Like recently, I gave away like an Italy Crystal Sword Beef Boss for free. So literally, I think it was anybody watching my live stream. Sometimes I just say type Fortnite in the chat. They all type Fortnite. I do a random randomizer. The first top person will get it for free. I've done all sorts of stuff. I've done the Drew Hill autographs that way. Like I implemented that system, a partnership with them where if you pull a Drew Hill skin in a break, you pay like $5. You don't even have to pay for shipping. I pay for the shipping. You spend $5. It'll be sent to him. He'll sign it, send back, and then I send it to you. So it's kind of a whole autograph system through the breaks.
I wasn't aware of that. That's really cool, that whole Drew Hill thing.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot more Drew Hill autographs, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to matter too much, like 5-10 years from now. Like it's going to be hard to get his autograph, especially if this blows up to the point we think it might. Heck, he could probably go to a convention and charge $40-$50 an autograph at some point, for his sort of autograph. And this is $5 that I'm charging for people. So top 6 Fortnite rippers of all time. Who are the other 5? Oh man.
Yeah, like I remember watching some of your YouTube breaks. I remember it was some S3 Megas right when S3 dropped. I remember watching. I think you pulled a Double Agent Hush actually.
Yep, I did pull that for somebody. I pulled that for myself too. She haunted me for S3. I probably pulled her like 10 times in Cracked Ice. I don't know how, but
that's not a bad.
And even Double Agent Wildcard. I pulled so much of him.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been Sterling though, so kind of lucked out there.
Oh yeah, dude, him and Barracuda. Barracuda, I probably hit 20 times, and it's like, oh my god, why? Why? Barracuda haunts me. I don't know why, but so many megas I've opened and hit a Barracuda. But luckily, it's always like Skull Trooper inverted or something behind her to even it out.
Yeah.
Okay, Warfighter, I get it. I might start posting some more on Insta then and try to go live and do some breaks, but I just don't know if the support's gonna be there for it. It'd probably have to start out as like personal rips, not like whole breaks that you have to have multiple people in to sell out.
Yeah. 48-year-old man opening garbage pail kids.
That's what I read.
Yeah, that was funny. There's the West Love Starfish comment.
So yeah, and only people on the Facebook know about that because I said that was probably one of the what I say. I hate her so much, and I ripped her so many times, um like her base cards. I wouldn't rip her hollows or anything, but I have like her full master set now for Italy and USA. I don't even like her. I just had to buy them for the meme.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of her. I have a few cracked ice USA, some hollows opties. I have all that, and the whole plan was to burn them or whatever, and I never did. So I might have to come back to do that.
I don't think you can burn the opties and ices. That'd be a little
Oh,
too.
I will for Starfish. No, okay. It's not even how the skin necessarily looks, but if you've ever used Starfish in game, you probably haven't because she's a terrible skin. But she has like these, I don't know, like these strands that come out from her hair and they block your screen. So, like, certain parts of, like, if you're trying to shoot somebody, it'll block certain parts of your screen, a whole entire strand of multiple strands of her hair. It's like, why would they do this for his skin? It's dumb.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely not one I've considered purchasing in game.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you one bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to bore you guys too much, so
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was great having you on. I really appreciate you coming on, man.
yeah, I appreciate you having me. Again, I love what you're doing. Definitely keep it up. Um, maybe I can help you out some too, because I have the whole YouTube channel thing, and I know how it can be sometimes to be like burnt out and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
if you ever feel like that, just come to me because I've been through my whole struggles with the whole YouTube thing, and it's tough. Like at one point, you might be able to beat me at one point, but I uploaded daily for like 6 months at one point, just because I was grinding it with the whole. I literally just uploaded like Roblox videos and stuff for that, so it's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Definitely over that now because I don't know if I could have kept doing that forever, but
Yeah.
I don't
Recently,
know.
talking about getting burnt out, I went through a little bit of phase where I didn't upload for I think it was 38 days. Then I
Hmm.
came back and I started doing the card of the day thing, and now I'm back doing it, making content every day.
I think I haven't posted on that channel for like 5, 6 months now, so I'm really burnt out for that one. But sometimes it's just like you're not really interested in that sort of content anymore, and I don't know. Uh, so the thing is, with the whole YouTube thing, I started editing for bigger YouTubers and stuff, um, and that's part of it's kind of my job now. So I edit for some YouTubers, and for the most part, I don't know. I don't even technically enjoy it all the time now, so I don't know. That's like a personal problem though, guys. I'm still trying to do some other things, and I think it's okay to not know exactly like career options, what you want to do all the time. I kind of have like a bunch of side things happening. I'm even into the Fortnite map creation stuff now. That stuff can bring some good money, and so I'm working on a couple of those now too. But yeah, so I kind of stopped the whole YouTube thing on my own and started editing for other YouTubers, which I don't know. For certain YouTubers, if they have good amount of views, you can get paid pretty good. But we'll see.
Yeah.
What was that game called? What are you talking about? I don't know what he means by that.
I said I remember you uploading fake Fortnite. I don't know what he means by that.
Yeah, so fake Fortnite, there was a version on Roblox, and then there was a version called 1v1.lol, which is a browser game. It's basically a ripoff Fortnite. And believe it or not, that I've worked for that company for 2 years. I don't know. Like I said, I do a ton of side gigs. And what I would do for that company is I would like stream it on TikTok, make them TikToks. And there were times where I'd stream this game to like 10,000 viewers on TikTok. So it's just like sometimes you don't know what people are behind the camera. But if you guys ever saw fake Fortnite being streamed on TikTok, it might have been me just streaming the game. I would have to talk on there, obviously. So maybe you guys recognize my voice. But um, yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff that I ended up doing. But it's called 1v1.lol. Definitely, I don't know, they're a pretty cool company. The only thing that happened with them is they ended up selling to a bigger company, and that's where they changed the game completely. It used to be a lot like Fortnite, and now it's just some little kid power up game. They rebranded the entire thing, but I loved working on it at the time where it was specifically like Fortnite.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if there's anything else you want to add, but we could end it here if you want.
I mean, like I said, I appreciated being on here so much. Definitely keep going, bro. Uh, we'll talk a little bit after stream about
Yeah.
something. I'll definitely bring it up to you that we should not bring up on here. But
Okay.
it's nothing bad or anything.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's nothing. I swear, it's just a little something I gotta ask you. But
All right.
I do appreciate you having me on here so much. Again, Fortnite cards to the moon, guys. I definitely believe in it. Um, actually, to be fair, if they went to $1, I'd still be collecting bullseyes, you know. So either way,
Yeah.
Fortnite cards to the moon or have them die, I'll still collect them.
Yeah. If they die, we can get more, right?
That's how I see it. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, let them die, and I'll pick up all the bullseye shards for $100 each.
Yeah.
It does not matter to me. I'll still have that same sort of attachment to those skins.
Yeah.
But
I
definitely keep it up, bro. Um,
appreciate you, man.
and yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Fortnite training card of the day. And like I said, thanks again for Westdrum for joining me tonight. And like I said, thanks for watching, everybody.